Welcome back to another video. On today's video, I think we're going to do a little walk around of the bike. On my previous mod video, I kind of, I went through some stuff. It was a little more, just kind of showed you real quick a little bit of things here and there. I'm going to get a little more in depth on what I did and why I did it, and we'll kind of go from there. So go ahead, stick around, and see you in a bit. I don't know if you can see here, but I went ahead and put, I don't know about anybody else, but the shifter on these is too short. It was into like right here, and when I ride with my boots on, short of having the shifter so far up, I couldn't get my boot under it without really tipping my foot in and grabbing it and shifting. So I went ahead and extended it. And let me tell you, that changed a bunch for me when you ride with boots. Like I ride with the adventure boots, and because they're stiff, and they with no issues, I'm able to shift no problem now. So that's just a good tip if you ever. I'm sure they probably make one that's longer. I'm not sure. I never even checked. I have the stuff and the abilities to do it. So this cost me literally nothing. So yeah, just a good little mod. This thing's filthy though after the last ride. So yeah, it's just another good. Still, everything still works. So it's kind of just a neat little deal to pass along to you guys. So this is the rear shock for my bike. This is the Kojit Dynamics. This is the only shock that I could find for this bike that's aftermarket. I'm sure if I'd done research I could have got a different spring, but you wouldn't have had all the valving and extra goodies that came with it like this. Here's your dampening. So you can just twist that to adjust the dampening on it. I got the stiffest spring they make because I wanted it as stiff as possible. And I'll go ahead and take you off real quick and kind of show you there's a top adjuster on here too. Oh, there it is. Right there. It comes with a tool. I won't focus. It comes with a tool that you can adjust that preload on the spring. So you can kind of you can play with that a little bit, and it for what I do, it works great for what I do. I can't recommend it enough. If somebody wants better suspension on their XT, buy that shock. It's expensive. I'm telling you. You will not regret. You'll thank me. So, okay, we'll move on to the front real quick. So, on the front shocks, you got this little. You can see this little black cap. You can pop this black cap off. When you pop it off, there's this little sleeve here, or a little cap. And there's like a ring clip in there. And on the new front shock setup, or front springs, shocks are everything else is the same. The only thing that's different on this is the springs, and in the bottom there's emulators now. And in the top, right underneath that cap, is a spacer. Now this is not what's in there, but this is kind of what it looks like. It's a piece of PVC. It's white. It'll be white, and you got to cut it to length when you install it. So you, at droop, where it's at now, full droop, you would drop this spring in, and you would cut it flush with the top of here, right? And this, you can adjust the preload on the front. And what I did, because I wanted a little extra, is I went up about 1/4 inch on each side and gave it just a little bit extra preload. Haven't adjusted it since. I don't really feel the need to. So that's just a little tip if you ever do the front there. They say to put it right here, and these are Race Tech springs in the front. That's what they call for, but I went ahead and move mine up a quarter to give me just a little bit more preload on it. And so far I've been really happy with it. So I don't think there's much more on the suspension, so maybe we'll move on to something else. We'll move on to the gas tank and what I got there. And so this is the Clark gas tank that I put on. And I know in the previous video I said just because I replaced my old tank was rusted, had a hole like, you know, down here right above the head, and it was a rust pinhole on the inside, and it was spraying gas right on top of the head. And luckily I wasn't riding it when it decided to spring the leak, but I had pulled it off like, I don't know, probably 6 times. I was just messing with the carburetor, trying to get it dialed as best I could. So I had it off, and I think I'm glad I found it then and not when I was in, you know, up riding or something. So I went online to find a new one or a used one, and they were ridiculously expensive for like an original metal tank. And I don't remember what I paid for this one, but you can get them on ProCycle, and it's double the capacity, and you can actually see how much fuel you have. You know, it's like I have that much fuel, where the old one you couldn't. Longer range. The only drawback to it that I don't even know if I really call it a drawback, because I'll show you here. But you kind of have to move the horn around, and then you lose those deflectors that come in here to blow air on the head. But I never had an issue. Not that it seems like it's ever overheating. And we're back to that dirty party. I should have washed this thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's the gas tank. It's I'd say it's holding up fairly well. The only thing I will tell you, I did have to replace the gas cap once. Right on this seam here, it cracked all the way around, like not all the way, about halfway, and would leak gas when it was full. After it got down, unless you laid it over, it never would. But I just went on eBay and found one. So, but that could have been me just giving her the old gorilla on it. So, other than that, that's not much for the gas tank, besides what's strapped to it. And we'll do that next. Let's go over what I carry for luggage on this thing. I got 3 pieces for now. So we'll go ahead and do that next. How about that? Yeah, so here's the front, my Fender bag that I have, and it's the Tusk bag. You can get them on Rocky Mountain. You know, they come with tire spoons to pull the tires apart. And I thought the thing was going to tip over. It's just turning. I carry like my insurance cards, a tool roll with tools in it, zip ties, crescent wrench. I don't have an air pump or anything like that yet. I don't go really crazy on the rocks. Oh, actually I do go really crazy. I probably shouldn't get an air pump for this thing. But I don't know. If you have any suggestions on what kind of air I should put in, it'd be nice if it could fit in here. There's not much room. There's room to expand, but not very much. So, but if you have any ideas on some kind of inflation that I could put in here, let me know. I've been thinking about the CO2 one. I don't know. Let me know. Okay. So here's my tank bag setup. This is the Giant Loop Buck and Roll, the old style bag. And if you're an XT owner, you already know that from the seat it shoots straight up. So if you put a traditional style tank bag, it would work, but it's pushing you back pretty far, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be able to sit a little closer on the front. So I opted to find this one, which they didn't make. I found it new, but it was on eBay. So I got it, and I love this thing because it's handy. We'll go ahead and go through. I'll go ahead and open this one up and show you what's in there. I honestly don't even remember what's in here, so could be nothing. Let's see. So a knife. I got just a cheapo, so it's good to have a knife. I always carry Leatherman on me, but a tourniquet, some paracord, and it looks like an emergency blanket. So not a whole lot. Definitely room for expansion. Definitely room for expansion. I'm not 100% sure I even have a real first aid kit in here. I'm pretty sure I don't. But that's what's in that bag. So we'll go ahead and move. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it hot. And we're going to go ahead and move right to here. And this is the front seat bag. And typically in this bag is where I would keep, I carry an extra pair of sunglasses, and then I'm not even quite sure why that Velcro strap's in there, but a lot of times I'll put in, if I have extra batteries, I'll have that in there, or when I ride, a lot of times I'll put my wallet, keys, and my cell phone in here. That way they're not on me, so that's just how that rolls with that. So we'll go around and get the other side. Okay, on this side, back to the dirt again. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I know there's a couple things already in here. So I got a folding saw, in case you run into, this is a, it's Corona. Yeah, haven't even used it, it's brand new. Maybe I should go out more. Pull back, cutting action. Razor tooth saw. Seems sharp, so I don't know, fits right in there. And then I got, this was my grandpa's, a really tiny metric little wrench. Goes all the way down to 1. Like 1, 2, 4, 5, 60, like a bunch of really tiny wrenches. So this is my grandpa's, so I throw it in there. You never know. I mean, there's a good amount of wrenches in there. So you can do a lot of things with that. So sometimes I'll put my, actually I know I will. I'll put my Nalgene bottle in here when I don't use the tail bag, which I do use quite a bit. So really the water goes in there now, but that's where I used to put my Nalgene bottle. It fit in there perfectly. So we'll go ahead and move to the back, and I'll show you the tail bag, and then we'll move on to something else. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna go freehand on this one. So, I mean, this is a pretty good sized bag. It extends from here to whoop there, and so like when I ride it to work, I'll put a water bottle, my coffee, and like a protein shake right here, and they fit perfectly with room for my hat, so I can put a hat and my sunglasses in there, and there's still room for other stuff. I carry, you know, the little bungees for who knows what. It looks like you can put a helmet in there. I wouldn't. My head's too big. I wouldn't even fit in there. So, but you can strap stuff to the outside, and this is a Nelson rig. So, Ultramax. So I think that's pretty much it for luggage on this thing, and we'll maybe we'll move up to, I don't know, move up to tire. We'll do tires real quick. We'll do some tires. How about that? Sound good? Okay. So these are the tires that I run. I run the Dunlop D605s, front and rear. So I'd say they work pretty good. I mean, I would call myself a close to a 50-50 rider, which I'd rather it to be more off-road than on, but riding it back and forth to work, I mean, you're never really going to have more road than off-road, so I don't have any of that on the way to work. So I bought these for 50-50 tire, and they do, I've never had an issue where I wish I had more traction. Never had an issue where I've needed more traction. They got pretty good side, which you can tell I don't get much on the side. But if you watch my previous video where I went through the big mud hole that I went through, I did those, the first time I went through that mud hole was on the old tires I had, which were Maxxis or something, and they were terrible. And these gripped way better on that mud on the side, like on a hill, or a slight slope like into a ditch. They would they gripped a whole lot better. And but you probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you noticed that I posted a video of a coworker's bike. He's got a WR250, and we converted it to a dual sport, and we put the Tusk Trackmaster. I just said, just put those on, because I thought I don't have to buy them, and then he can tell me if they're decent or not. I tell you, that, I don't know how they even consider that a DOT tire. That is a knobby off-road tire. So I don't know if I'll ever go that route. I'm gonna try to ride his bike soon, so I can get an idea of what I think on that tire compared to these, because these don't have a lot of noise or vibration in them at all. They're pretty comfortable on road, and so I don't know. When they wear out, I'll probably go to something different just to keep trying. But as you can see, they got a ways to go. I think I put them on last year, so they got a ways to go. Kind of scoot up here to the front real quick. And you can see the fronts, it's barely even seen the side. So, great tire. I'd recommend them. They're pretty cheap. I'm not a hardcore off-roader or on-roader, so to me they seem fine. So, let's see. Let's move on to something else again. There's not much left. Let's take you out the stand then. How about that? We'll do hand guards here because we're already here. Maybe, if anybody's ever looked for hand guards, you could spend the money on the super expensive ones. Why? I just don't. It's a hand guard. You're worried about this not breaking off, not that it has a fancy name on the front. $28 shipped to your house. They fit fine. Clamps, you can do either size. They fit fine. Obviously, you can tell if you can. I have not dropped them. So honestly, I guess in that aspect, I can tell you that not 100% sure if they will hold up, but they seem pretty thick. I don't know how thick that is, but that's got to be 3/8 of an inch thick. Well, here, I'll grab a tape measure and show you. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch thick. So, they're aluminum. So, if it hits, it bends. But if I do bust it off, or break them, or bend them, or do whatever, I'll let you know. But I just recommended it to another guy. He just asked me on my previous mod video, and I can't say anything bad about it. I just didn't want to spend the money. So, other than that, I think that's it for mods. Some people think this is a Seat Concepts. Nope, I wish. Nope, just a standard old whatever comes on the Yamaha. So whatever came on, I just put a new cushion on it. So yeah, not much else to really say. The rack. Now I'm thinking about doing a new, I gotta do something with that. That's a trailer light. Don't knock me, that came on the bike when I got it. I did put the turn signals, these ones. Watch. I wouldn't mind finding one that just went inside, that was about that wide, that brake and turn on each side on the inside instead of being on the outside like that. I just think that would be a little bit easier for me anyway. I don't know. If somebody hops on it, it's almost every time somebody kicks that thing and it just breaks off. They were broken off within the first 2 days of me putting them on. Both of them are. One day I came out when it was hot, and this one, this one, focus, come on, there you go, dropped. It's like, because it's just electrical tape holding it on. So, but other than that, I can't say anything wrong about this bike. I really do like this bike a lot. So, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's another mod video that you've already seen, but hopefully this one's a little bit better than the last one. Wasn't really the greatest quality video. So I would still recommend you go watching it because it's a little more in depth, like on the suspension part of it. But I don't have any videos of me pre-suspension, so I can't really judge on that. But I can tell you just from writing it that, yeah, I can never say anything bad about it except for the price. That's the only bad thing you can say about it. But considering I only paid $1,300 for this bike when I first bought it 2 years ago. It's actually this month, 2 years ago this month when I bought it. And I mean, I just put $1,000 in suspension, is, you know, basically the cost of what I paid for the bike, on top of the tank, the luggage, you know, the tires, and you know, hand guards and all that stuff. So that's alright. It's fun. It's what I like to do. I'm not 100% what I like to do, but it is fun. So let me know what you think. I have some comments on some different things that could be done on the bike, but there's not much that I really want to do to it. I was going to do maintenance on it. I was going to do sprockets and chains. I have them right here. Sprocket, front and rear end chain. And it must have been like a grease thing or something where I thought it would look like it was starting to bend the teeth over, but they're not even bad. So I'm just gonna put them on the shelf, and when they do go bad, we'll redo them then. But until then, I think till the next ride, which is probably gonna be this Friday. I'm gonna go back to the same place, but I'm gonna have somebody with me, so maybe we'll do a quick walk around in his bike. Sound like a plan? So, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to love your neighbor as you love yourself. If we all do that, it'll be a much better world. Thanks for watching. See ya.